what Akademiks, check it out. Now, the curious case of Benjamin Joe Budden, okay? I mean, he's the only guy, he's getting older, right? I mean, I think he's like 35, might be 40, okay? But yet, each and every year, he gets more and more petty, and he gets more and more childish, okay? He's acting like 13, yet he's like 35 or 40, okay? Now, this is what he's been doing lately. He has a problem with Meek Mill, and he has a problem with Drake. Now, again, I have to try to bring you to the origin of both issues, right? He got a problem with two people. Is it an organic problem, or is it a problem that he has kind of created himself? Now, it started out with Meek when he made comments about Meek on his podcast. Same with Drake, okay? He made comments, like some disparaging comments about Drake's album on his podcast, and obviously both people did not appreciate both comments. Now, that is fine. His opinion is his opinion. However, because these people he is talking about view him as somewhat of a rapper, they're probably gonna react to him as a rapper. Okay? So Drake is gonna subliminally get at him on 4 p.m. in Calabasas, okay? And then, of course, Meek, I don't even know what Meek is gonna do. Meek is gonna hit him with the Twitter fingers, okay? Or Instagram fingers, okay? That's what it is. Now, Joe Budden, he does something very, he thinks he's slick, right? Like, he tries to throw a stone and hide his hand. Like, I didn't do nothing. These niggas getting at me. Meek is not just randomly dissing you. You are actually asking for the attention of Meek, and he responds. Then you act like you just got attacked unprovoked. Okay? The same thing with Drake. Drake ain't rapping about you. You're not even on his mind. Now, let's get to the track that was dropped today. Okay? Basically, Joe Budden dropped a track. It was called Making a Murderer, Part 1. And the Part 1 kind of tells us that Part 2 is about to come. By the way, he's kind of going at mostly Drake on Part 1, which means Meek is probably going to get Part 2. Now, he didn't completely spare Meek on Part 1 because he definitely said, fuck Meek. He says he ain't in no alliance or nothing. So basically, he letting both of them niggas know that y'all both going to get it. Now, in my opinion, it was a lyrical onslaught of Aubrey Graham, a.k.a. the light-skinned Key Sweat, a.k.a. the artist known as Drake. But in 6.5 minutes, all right, that's how long the track was. He holds no punches. It's a kind of a scathing diss and really specifically aimed at exposing Drake. He lets Drake know that, listen, buddy, you have been fucking up. Those subliminals you're throwing, they're weak. You used to rhyme my dick. And basically, man, all that singing shit will not work with me. Okay, if you guys haven't heard the track, latenightcreep.com, got it all. A couple quotables from the track, which I thought was just flat out fire. This is the difference between a Joe and a Meek. Meek double entendre game ain't like this. Because Joe said, I kilogram without weighing a thing. Nigga, you baiting the king, tell you the way that Golden State say to his team. Aubrey, you gotta make a shot if you want to play on a wing. Now, basically, the I kilogram is obviously he kills a Graham, which is Drake's last name. Okay, so that's a play off words. It's so dope. He kilogram without weighing a thing. That's crazy. Okay, not only that, he as well said a line which I don't know if I really agree with, because he said, you started a trend by being a groupie for groupies. We all know Drake put all the groupies' names in his goddamn raps, and it makes it seem like he's a groupie for them. Okay? Now, I do agree with that. Drake did start that trend, but I'm looking at Joe and I'm like, yo, nigga, didn't you go on VH1 and try to propose in the middle of town square? Fuck are you talking about, okay? He also talks about Drake be getting his leftovers and all that shit, and I'm thinking that, come on, man, you had the chick you were trying to propose to, right? Basically, Drake was flying around, had that chick like she was nothing. So, I mean, I'm not sure if this talk about women is really giving one points or the other. To keep it real, both have simped. Both have looked really bad for doing really crazy moves when it comes to women. Now, they both get bad bitches, so okay. I mean, listen, are you guys arguing who gets the badder bitch? Come on, man. It's kind of a moot point to me, but I'm not going to lie, yo. Very dope lines. Joe, he definitely, and he mentioned in the record, he says he's a wordsmith. Okay, he said he's a wordsmith. He even mentioned Quentin Miller. He says, yo, I'm a wordsmith for real. You thought Quentin Miller was bad. You made me proud, lad. It seems like my child's mad with all the clout that he grabbed. It still doubts from his dad. Now, he tells him to knock off his subliminals. He says, you're so indirect, shit wasn't clear. Either Jimmy acting or he really misses a wheelchair. He got a lot of clever lines, even a couple double entendres. He is using a lot of complex rhyme schemes, but that's what I expect from Joe Budden, because Joe Budden is a above average lyricist. Okay? Now, he also says that Drake is gassed off knocking out Meek in a beef. Okay, of course, lyrically or musically. And he also kind of steps in to take some shots at Jay-Z, right? And even tells Jay-Z that him going at Drake and kind of bodying Drake on this track, he's kind of doing the work for Jay-Z, because lest we forget, as I said to you guys before, Drake and Jay-Z, they've been trading bars on the low-low, okay? Now, here's the thing, man, and this is pretty much all I got to wrap it up with. I want you guys to go check out the track, but basically, Joe Budden, while you made a fire diss song, and if Meek had dropped this song, maybe it would have changed the tide of things, even though I don't think it would, because people rock out with just a hot song rather than just hot bars. And what Joe Budden just dropped is a bunch of hot bars, and to me, it's a good song, but it's not something that's going to be bumped in the club. It's a very dope diss, okay? Very dope, okay? Lyrically, I believe he exposed Drake. It would be in his best interest to not respond, because I don't think he's going to respond with all bars. Okay? So it would be in his best interest to not respond. But what it actually comes across as to most casual fans and just most fans in general is somebody who's desperate and seeking for attention and really reaching for attention, which is Joe Budden, because nobody really understands why he's just randomly dissing Drake. Why is he just dissing Meek? Why those two individuals? There's ton of rappers who have said ton of fuck shit, who have done ton of fuck shit, who have probably been criticized by you. Why don't you go with them? Why is it only Meek and Drake? Okay? So again, for most people, man, even though you dropped a hot song, they're still looking at it like, yo, you probably either wearing your feelings or you're just reaching for attention. No matter what you do, you're not going to change that fact. For the fans of yours and the fans of bars, they'll appreciate the track, but I'm not sure this track will really go anywhere because people can't even see why it even happened in the first place. All they're going to see is that they're going to chalk you up as a hating ass nigga trying to get at two rappers who currently are in a better position in music. And by the way, I need everybody who's a fan of Joe Budden to stop spamming he doesn't care about mainstream. This is entertainment. If niggas really didn't care about money and success, niggas would be doing this shit for free. All right? Let's please cut it out. Like, yo, he doesn't need to. No, cut it the fuck out. Okay? People, listen, the whole thing about mainstream and not, Joe Budden would like to be mainstream, but he just would like to be mainstream doing what he does, okay? He doesn't want to change himself to be mainstream, but he doesn't not want to be mainstream. Who the fuck would get in entertainment and be like, nah, I don't want to be number one in terms of like the overall like standings. I just kind of want to be like over here in one lane. No, that's not how it goes. But again, because it seems so random and it seems like he's reaching, he's going to be looked over, possibly casted off as a hater, but I'm not going to lie, as a diss track, the diss track is fucking flames. He definitely exposed Drake, but Drake, if Drake is like in the OVO sweatshop trying to ask for tips like what he should do, the best advice, do not respond. Okay, get in the comment box, make sure you guys like, definitely subscribe to Akademiks. I'm out.